The Chicago White Sox had an off day on Monday and will begin a two-game series against the Rockies in Colorado starting Tuesday night. This past Sunday, we saw White Sox legend Minnie Mioso finally enshrined into the Baseball Hall of Fame. It was long overdue, but the Cuban Comet finally has a plaque in Cooperstown. The White Sox start now an important stretch of 19 games. This time, can the White Sox do better than 10-9?
You are Locked On White Sox, your daily Chicago White Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, Sox fans, welcome to Locked On White Sox. Thank you for making Locked On White Sox your first listen each and every day. We're free and available on all platforms. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Sox. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search Locked On White Sox. Hey, I'm your host, Nick Morawski, a lifelong diehard Chicago White Sox fan, recording this podcast just blocks from the ballpark in beautiful Bridgeport. You can find me on Twitter at Nick_GGTB. Really appreciate you letting me steal some of your time to talk White Sox. Locked On White Sox is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. The importance of beating the bad teams and competing against the good teams. Well, at this point, for the Chicago White Sox, you just need to win no matter what. Can Michael Kopech start off his second half on a good note? But first, Sox fans everywhere rejoicing as Minnie Mioso was inducted into baseball immortality. White Sox, of course, had the day off on Monday, starting that two-game series with the Rockies in Colorado Tuesday night. It is all about Minnie Mioso here for the first few segments of this episode. Minnie Mioso enshrined into the Hall of Fame this past Sunday, far overdue, but it finally happened in what would be his last interview. Mioso told ESPN, "Don't tell me that maybe I'll get in after I pass away. I don't want it to happen after I pass. I want it while I'm here because I want to enjoy it." Unfortunately, Minnie Mioso did pass away March 1st, 2015. Mioso was part of the 2022 class inducted Sunday in Cooperstown, New York. He was elected through the Golden Days Era Committee and shared the spotlight on this day with Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, and Tony Oliva from that same committee, as well as Bud Fowler and Buck O'Neill from the early baseball era committee. Some facts for you on Minnie Mioso. 1951 Rookie of the Year, played for the White Sox from 1951 to 1957, then 1960 to 1961, 1964, 1976, and 1980. Saw action in those years. Batted 300 or higher 10 times in his career. He was a 7-time All-Star. Minnie Mioso became the first Black Cuban to play for the White Sox and homered on the first pitch from Yankees Vic Rashney in his first career at bat on May 1st, 1951. White Sox retired his number 9 on May 8th, 1983. They unveiled the Mioso statue in 2004. And of course, Minnie Mioso nicknamed the Cuban Comet. This is directly from Minnie Mioso's Hall of Fame plaque. Electrifying left fielder from Cuba, blazed path for generations of Latino ball players to follow as the first dark-skinned Latin American to play in AL or NL, lifted Negro National League's New York Cubans to 1947 championship before setting American League ablaze with his base running and clutch hitting for Go-Go White Sox of 1950s. led AL in stolen bases 3 times and triples 3 times from 1951 to 1961, while earning 9 All-Star game selections and 3 Gold Glove awards. Returned to White Sox to extend big league career into 5 different decades across 20 major league seasons. Hit .299 with 195 home runs, 216 steals, and .387 on-base percentage. Minnie Mioso was definitely before my time. But, I heard the stories, as I'm sure you did, especially some of the younger White Sox fans, and consumed as much as possible that was written on Minnie Mioso. When you walk into the ballpark, especially as a young fan, and this day and age, with all the different murals, not only on the 100 level, but on the 500 level. And then if you go to the club level, the 300 level, there are tons of different posters and, murals and artifacts. And you've got the retired numbers. And when you're a young fan, you start asking questions and, what's that number and who's that player? And I remember just as a young fan, just wondering, well, all these numbers, what significance do they have? And being taught that by my parents and grandparents and other Sox fans, and you learn about these legends within the organization, and that was definitely Minnie Mioso. Minnie's impact still felt throughout the ballpark for sure. If you've never been to the ballpark, and I know that there are some Sox fans that are from all over the country, all over the world, that have become a Sox fan, but, have never actually come to the ballpark in the south side of Chicago to see the Sox play. If you haven't been to the ballpark in many, many years, when you enter, you got to go and check out the Championship Plaza, obviously dedicated to the 2005 team. But they've got plaques kind of surrounding or cornering the Championship Plaza with all of the retired numbers. And they've updated Minnie Mioso's plaque to include his Hall of Fame induction, and all of the stats are on that as well. Big number 9 there for you. And then, of course, you got to check out the statue on the concourse near section 160, out kind of in the center field area. Check that out next time you get to the ballpark. Or again, if you've never made it to the ballpark, those are definitely a couple things to check out, as well as some of the other greats that are remembered all throughout Sox Park. Mioso's impact continues, of course, to be felt. I'm going to tell you what the players had to say about the White Sox legend. More on that in a moment. At BlueNile.com, you can celebrate all of life's special moments, from creating the custom engagement ring of her dreams to gifting a classic and timeless jewelry piece, all at prices you won't find at a traditional jeweler. Whether you're customizing an engagement ring or designing diamond stud earrings, online jeweler Blue Nile will allow you to create a bigger, more brilliant piece than you can imagine at a price you won't find at a traditional jeweler. Blue Nile has simple online tools that will let you choose the diamond shape, size, and clarity, as well as setting style. Blue Nile's bench jewelers will then handcraft her perfect engagement ring. Each ring is one of a kind. Make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. And going on now is the Blue Nile Anniversary Sale. Save up to 40% on classic fine jewelry pieces and 25% on engagement ring settings. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today. So Minnie Mioso, of course, influenced so many Major League Baseball players. Jose Abreu and Alexi Ramirez spoke about Minoso's impact. This is what Jose Abreu has had to say, and he has said so much over his time with the White Sox and regarding Minnie Mioso. This is Abreu. Personally, I think it's something wonderful. Someone like him gets this recognition because he did a lot for us and for the country and for this organization. It's just the right thing to do. It means a lot because all of that, but especially for the kind of human being he was. It's something I'm really proud of for me as a Cuban, for our whole country. It's a big, big accomplishment. When he got to this clubhouse and walked through the clubhouse, you could see how everybody felt. Abreu said the admiration for him. Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, Harold Baines, everybody was just giving the respect to him. Even White Sox chairman Jerry Reinsdorf, just see the relationship they had. That's something that just a guy like him can do. He was a god. For us, he was a god, continued Abreu. The name of Minnie in Cuba is something really, really big. For me personally, I'm just blessed. I had the chance to meet him and to spend time with him because he's an incredible human being, just a god. And this was Alexi Ramirez. He used to tell us a lot of things, but what he always said was enjoy baseball, enjoy the game, just enjoy it. I'm very happy for him to get this honor, Ramirez said. I would have preferred this would have happened when he was still alive. It would have been way better, but it didn't happen. I know that right now. He's probably happy just seeing this. Of course, Alexi Ramirez wore Minoso's number 9 jersey with Minnie Mioso's name on the back as a tribute for the 2015 home opener after Mioso died on March 1st of that year. Ramirez came up with the idea and had the permission of the White Sox chairman Jerry Reinsdorf, general manager Rick Hahn, and the Mioso family. Lots of articles this weekend. I found one very interesting in the Chicago Tribune Sunday's edition. Paul Sullivan wrote the article. There was an interesting blurb about Reinsdorf trying to let Mioso, trying to get him an at bat in 1990 during the final days of Old Comiskey Park. Can you imagine that? So this is what Paul Sullivan had to say. In 1990, when Reinsdorf was willing to give Mioso an at-bat during the final days, which would have made it 6 decades instead of 5 decades. I promised him this years ago, Reinsdorf told Tribune baseball writer Jerome Holtzman before the 1990 season. We have to be sure this isn't a farce. I haven't thought the whole thing through, but we don't want him to embarrass himself or baseball. By summer, the Sox, of course, were in a heated race with the Oakland A's in the American League West. The idea of giving a 67-year-old Mioso an at-bat down the stretch was debated, and Mioso was told he might have to pass a medical exam. That medical talk is bull, Mioso said. I can play. I feel every day is my birthday. Each day I feel I'm reborn. I'd be honored to play. But Commissioner Fay Vincent put a halt to the plan, citing the best interests of the game. Flash forward to 1993, and this is what Sullivan said about that year in regards to getting potentially another at-bat. The owners eventually fired Vincent, and in September 1993, the Sox again announced a 70-year-old Mioso would play an inning and lead off against the Seattle Mariners. But the Sox were on their way to the playoffs, and ace Jack McDowell led a players' revolt, which forced general manager Ron Schuler to cancel the plan, citing several players who have voiced their displeasure. The team has other things to focus on that are far more important, Schuler said. After talking with Minnie, we have decided that he will not play. Here is Jose Abreu one more time. He was just an incredible man. That's what drives me every day, Abreu said. When I'm here, I try to pay my tributes to him. I try to carry my heritage and take the baton he kind of gave me with honor and respect, and try to honor him and his name and try to help everybody here, especially the Latino and Cuban guys. Those stories that Paul Sullivan referenced in the Tribune, those were definitely new to me in regards to Minnie. I did not realize they were trying to get him in at bat in 1990 and then 1993. So happy, as I know all Sox fans are, so happy for Minoso's family, his legacy. It was long overdue, but Minnie Mioso is finally in the Hall of Fame. Tuesday begins another important stretch of games that cannot be taken lightly. I'm going to tell you why the White Sox will finally string some wins together. More on that in a moment. Welcome to the world of sports cards reimagined. The Sports Card Investor app is the hobby's most powerful resource. Quickly check the value of your favorite cards and find great deals and profit from the hobby you love. Available completely free in the Google Play and Apple app stores, the Sports Card Investor app is a must-have for baseball fans. Easily browse over 630,000 cards from every sport, with hundreds more added each week. Check the latest values of your favorite cards with the 7-day or 30-day charts. Find the best prices and buy directly through the app with our eBay deals feature. Plus, it's completely free. Whether you're a casual card collector or looking for exciting alternative investment opportunities, the free Sports Card Investor app has something for you. With the free Sports Card Investor app, you can pull out those old cards of your favorite childhood players and see how much they are worth today. I did that recently with the Frank Thomas 1990 score, an old Bobby Thigpen card, and some Jack McDowell cards. Check out those old bins of cards in your basement or crawl space. Download the Sports Card Investor app today, available for free in the Google Play and Apple app stores, or go to sportscardinvestor.com/locked on. All right, the White Sox are in Colorado Tuesday night. Sox, of course, 48-48. The Rockies, 43-53. It is a quick 2-game series. Tuesday, a 7:40 game. Michael Kopech is on the hill for the White Sox. Kopech so far in 2022, 17 starts, 83 innings, 74 strikeouts in those 83 innings, and Kopech's ERA sits at 3.36. The last 2 starts that Kopech had before the All-Star break, they were pretty similar, roughly 5 innings per start, and he gave up around 2 runs per start. So we need to see what Kopech has in the tank. He's going to get, I think, a little bit of rest from the White Sox down the stretch here. Again, the Rockies, they're a beatable team. Michael Kopech has never seen the Colorado Rockies. He has never pitched against them. It's a tough ballpark to pitch in, so we'll see what he has. With the White Sox splitting with Cleveland this past weekend, the Sox ended their 19-game stretch of divisional games at 10-9. That is not ideal. They didn't really make up any ground on Minnesota. The Sox have yet to go on an extended winning stretch this season, and they have a new opportunity here beginning on Tuesday night. During the next 19 games, the White Sox will play Colorado, Oakland, Texas, Kansas City, and Detroit. This is the type of stretch that folks pointed to and used as an example for why the White Sox have one of the easiest schedules in the second half. Colorado, Oakland, Texas, Kansas City, and Detroit all under 500. So if the White Sox are going to go on a run, this is the time to do it. Not a 10-9 record. The Sox need something like 15-4. I know that's crazy. Is that realistic? If you're thinking about how the Sox are playing right now, no, it's not realistic. But that's kind of what needs to happen with this team. They have to not only just take it day at a time, but they have to see what's happening ahead of them, and they've got to dominate. Used to use the phrase, stomp on throats. I know it doesn't have a good image, but It's taking inferior teams and just beating them, coming into a ballpark and saying, okay, the Sox are 500, but again, they on paper, right? They've got the potential. They still need to have that mentality that we are the defending AL Central champs. We are a good team. We are going to go in and we're going to take this 19 game stretch and we're going to use it to our advantage. And based on what we've seen, I don't know if this is going to happen. I don't necessarily have the confidence, but I have the hope, and it's something that has to happen. Now is the absolute time. It starts on Tuesday night with Michael Kopech on the Hill. Thanks so much for making this podcast part of your daily routine. You can find the Locked On White Sox podcast absolutely everywhere you find your podcasts. We are on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Sox. You can find me on Twitter at Nick_GGTB. Thanks for making Locked On White Sox your first listen. Now make your second listen the Locked On MLB podcast. MLB expert Paul Francis Sullivan brings humor, passion, and unique perspective on every team and the biggest stories around the league. Follow the #1 daily league-wide podcast, Locked On MLB, on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get podcasts. Coming up in the next episode, I'll recap Michael Kopech's outing and hopefully be discussing a White Sox winner. Really appreciate you making time for the Locked On White Sox podcast. I'm Nick Morawski, and until next time, go Sox.